Hey, everybody, and welcome to this latest gabbing about GOT. And holy crap, do we have a lot to talk about tonight? This episode had a lot going on, even though I didn't expect it to. I thought it would be a little early for the big battle, and of course, it is. The big battle is probably going to be the very last episode of the series, since I believe we have two more to go. But oh man, did this episode have a lot going on. I have to have a list for everything that happened. So let's break this down. So we had fun times, drunk partying because we all lived. But before we got to the drunk partying, we had the very, very touching and dark barbecue of corpses. I actually the cut from the briars that they braziers that they were doing of for the bodies in the north, which was really sad and beautifully done, by the way. I loved how each person who was basically saved by the person who had died was the one to light the fire. But they could have saved a lot of time with Drogon going Dracarys and frying everybody in one fell swoop, saved a lot of time. Anyway, not to go there. Very somber time. But the cut from that to the feasting made me wonder just what the shit they were eating. I'm just not gonna lie. There was barbecue looking things there, and they probably lost a lot of their grain in storehouses and stuff during the battle. Just saying. Now, bodies, not food. Or maybe, the next time you see the dragons, there's a lot of bones. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of bones there too. So, who knows? Maybe that was the way they took care of those body parts. Anyway, I digress. A lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened at the party. A lot of things that people have been begging for, and I never thought would actually happen. But, the big news, of course, was Brienne and Jaime finally happened, which was a big, big deal. And I was like cheering and climb that mountain, Jaime Lannister, finally. I did feel bad for Tormund. That was really, I was like, no, Tormund, you've been pining. He seemed to bounce back pretty quickly, though, from everything. But that was a wonderful setup for that. There was a lot of stuff going on in that whole entire scene where the feasting was happening. And of course, the big one was, of course, Gendry. He took off to Arya, of course, and is now a lord, which is a big deal. That was a really smart move by Daenerys. But he goes over to Arya, which we knew wasn't going to happen. Come on, a girl doesn't need a husband. So I'm waiting for that to come out on a t-shirt, by the way. But that was a really neat scene. It was beautifully done too. I really liked the interplay with that. I liked the whole side-eye thing going on with Sansa and Dany, and they're kind of measuring each other up. Poor Tyrion's trapped in the middle of that. I feel really bad for Tyrion, but I'm going to get to that. Let's see what else happened there. Oh man, there was just so much good stuff. I love the interplay with everybody once again. I love the stuff with the Hound and Sansa and her visiting him and talking to him, which was really beautiful. He's in a weird way like the grouchy uncle to the Stark girls. So that's a really neat thing to watch. I really enjoyed all of that. It was really well done. But Brienne and Jaime, that was a big, big deal. I really loved that whole scene. I thought it was funny and witty and touching and sweet to see them. And then Tyrion, of course, talking to Jaime about it later, and the fact that, Brienne is taller than Tormund. Gwendolyn Christie is like a goddess. She's an Amazonian goddess, and she's all leg, and it's awesome to see her. They really have to try to, even as Brienne, she's beautiful, but I mean, they have to try really hard to make her look less goddess in this show. She probably has more makeup than anybody to try and tame down just how beautiful she is. But I really love the fact that, she had men vying for her. They saw her worth, not just as a object of beauty, which she is, but she was a tough, strong, loyal, smart woman. And I loved the respect and the caring and the love of that. And that's the tragedy with her and Jaime. Is Jaime is reminded, Cersei's, he doesn't love Cersei anymore in that way. I think he feels guilt and responsibility for what she's done and what she's doing. And when he leaves Brienne and she tells him that he's a good man, you can see that the love between the two of them. And he can't accept that. He doesn't feel worthy. And it's such a great scene between the two of them with that character and his arc. And honest to God, I know how this is going to end. I think everybody has known that it's going to end with Jaime killing Cersei. That's how this is going to go down. Jaime's going to kill Cersei and he's going to die doing it. So that's the destiny right there. I do have to say that I love the fact, not only is Tormund still alive. Who knew, man? Who knew that my boy Tormund, the milk drinker, and would make it? And he has. And he actually did exactly what I said, which was he's heading back to the north, which is perfect. Like, run, go away. I don't want you dying. Just go to the north. Go to the north. And not only is he alive, but Ghost is still alive. And Jon gifts Ghost to Tormund, which is awesome because Ghost is still alive. My dog is with my Giant's Bane, and that is fantastic. And yay. Thank you, gods of Game of Thrones, that you allowed Tormund to live and Ghost to go with him. Now, of course, he could show up in some stupid heroic way at the end when the big battle's going on. I hope to God not. Just stay in the north and just live. You made it. You beat the odds, man. You beat the odds. Don't come back. Just go off with your dog and find a woman, big woman. You can find more big women and be happy and live. That's all I want. That's all I want, man. Yay. You beat the odds, brother. Stay away. So Bronn shows up, which I was like, oh shit, he's done. I was waiting for Brienne to actually show up and cut his head off from behind and it just be done, and that's it. That's how it happens. But no, I honestly think, and if this happens, I'm going to be so happy. It's almost on the same level of me being ecstatic about Tormund. Is I think Bronn's going to make it. If he doesn't, it's going to be because he's going to do the stupid heroic show up at the end for some stupid fucking reason. But right now, Bronn's the smartest one. And he may end up with that big ass castle that he's always wanted. And it's going to be one of the biggest castles in the realm. And he deserves it because he's played this game smart. And everything he said was true. All these guys got rich on the backs of cutthroats. And, who better to play the game than the cutthroat? So, Bronn, if you make it, I will be so freaking happy because you're one of my favorite characters. I'm not going to, I think I gave all of my good mojo away with Tormund making it out. And Brienne's still alive, but Brienne may be stupid. Show up at King's Landing. And although it would be kind of neat to see her take Cersei down, like that would be an awesome bitch fight. But I think it's going to be Jaime that takes Cersei down, and that's just the way it's going to go. During the drunk partying, as I said, we see a lot of Dany watching everything. And you see the start of Crazy Eye Dany. That's what I'm calling her. Crazy Eye Dany sees that Jon is very beloved of people. Instead of seeing him as an asset and an equal and everything, the whole aunt thing is, they talk about that a little bit, which is, she's a Targaryen. That's nothing new to them, but, Jon isn't full Targaryen, nor is he from Targaryen land, as you will. She's his aunt. It's not a thing. You don't marry your aunt. So watch, instead of partnering together, which is something we were talking about, my husband and I, as we watched this, and, if they just got married, it would be equal, fine. But, Varys, who, I love you, Varys. Varys is right. She's too strong for Jon. She's got him wrapped around her finger already. And it just wouldn't work. Anytime that he tried to make her see something different, she's not going to follow that. And it's spot on. It's not going to work. No matter how much Tyrion tries, nothing is working out for him the way he wants it to. And so Varys, no matter how much Tyrion is in love with Dany, she's never going to love him in that way. And Varys is right. It's like, you're going to have to make this tough decision. And as a side note, I like the thing with this episode that I took away from it is it was a lot about children and loss and being protective of them. And what I mean by that is, within this episode, you have Rhaegal going down after making it through that battle, that evil Pacey bitch from the Iron Islands, which I hope he goes down hard. Yes. I can't believe we killed the other dragon. We got Drogon still alive. That's another thing. Dany, keep fucking Drogon away from everything. Just hide your dragon. You got one left. Leave him out of battle from where giant fucking crossbows are. Seriously. What are you thinking? Keep your last dragon away from where there's big. But how did you not see? Going on a tangent. Okay, I'm fine. Anyway, what I was talking about was the fact that this episode was really also about, in a weird way, children and protection of them and losing them. And how I mean by that is the loss of Rhaegal. Dany has lost her second child. Cersei is preggers with Jaime's child, even though Evil Pacey, he's called Evil Pacey. I'm not going to call him by his stupid name. It's Evil Pacey, the uncle of Theon. Anyway, Cersei's pregnant with Jaime's child. Tyrion's whole point was to protect your own child, protect your baby, keep your baby safe, yada, yada. Why would you want to risk this child? And interestingly enough, I know this has been called out before, but I still think it's worth mentioning. Cersei had 3 children. Dany had 3 children. Dany now has only 1 child left in Drogon, and Cersei has 1 child left. Maybe. You don't even know if she's pregnant or not because she's acting like a freaking psychopath even more than normal. But she had 3 children and they're all gone. So it's interesting. And at the end of the day, you still have 3 full-blooded Starks left. Jon doesn't count really. There's 3 Stark children left. So it's a lot of 3s here. But it was, but aside from that, also you have Varys talking about how he would do anything for the realm. And I find it interesting that Varys speaks about the realm like that because he's not going to have children. Not happening. So in a way, I think he thinks of the people of the realm and the people in the kingdom as his children, and the way that this is it. This is what I get to protect. This is my job. I'm not going to find anything, I'm not going to have children. I have to protect the people. So I find that really interesting in this episode too, that comes up a lot. So, yeah. And again, Danny, keep Drogon away, you stupid bitch. For real. Seriously. But anyway, Crazy Eye Danny is, I think at the end of the day, Danny's going to, Tyrion's going to have to see that you've got two mad queens fighting each other here. Jon just doesn't, I think everybody's thinking that Jon Snow is going to be the big heroic winner and of all here. And I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I honestly don't think that's going to be how this plays out. I think what's going to end up happening, because Jorah is no longer around, is that you're going to have Jaime kill Cersei, which is something we knew was going to happen from the get-go. Always was going to happen. And you're also going to have Jon Snow have to kill Daenerys. That's going to have to happen. Now, pretty sure Jaime's going to die doing what he's got to do. But I think there is a very good chance that Jon Snow very well may die for real at the end of this, killing Daenerys. So it'll be interesting to see. Or maybe we get a shot of Jon killing Daenerys because she's went crazy. And Drogon decides to try and protect her. And that's when you find out for real that Jon can't die by dragonfire. And he stabs her with a sword. And that's that. And maybe Drogon kills him. Who knows? But it's not going to end that easy. I think that that's going to be the way it goes down. And why I think that is, I think at the end of the day, and there's a lot of people talking about this, after watching this episode and seeing the interplay in the last couple that we've watched with Sansa and Tyrion, and keep in mind, those two are still married, kind of, I think, still legally. I think at the end of the day, your king and queen of Westeros is going to end up being Sansa and Tyrion. And the reason I think that is Sansa is showing she's a lot more savvy, a lot more smart. Her journey has led to this. She even tells that to the Hound, which is hilarious because she makes that whole joke about hounds being the way she got rid of Ramsay. But she's grown and she looks more like Cat every day. I love how they've made her look more like Cat. But she's learned and seen and how everyone plays the game. And Tyrion and her have a bond. They both have this bond together that, still being married. So Tyrion could very well still be her husband in this whole story. They're still married, I think. But he could be her hand. And I think there's enough affection and a love there. I mean, they don't even need to have him be king so much as he could be her hand and Sansa would be the queen. And they've kind of led up to that. And she's that dark horse that a lot of people, didn't give two shits about and thought was going to die. But she's lived through some of the worst crap. And she's got, plus, bonus, she's got Arya on her side, and Arya is going to kill everything. I still think we're going to get the Clegane Bowl 2019. I still think the Hound is going to take down the Mountain. And I think it's going to be by fire. And it's going to be sad. And Arya may help him. Arya may have her own hands full. I don't think Arya is going to be the one to take down Cersei. I'm pretty certain it's going to be Jaime. But yeah, I don't know. I think at the end of this, we may very well see Sansa on the throne. I think she'd rather be in Winterfell, but she's gotten to that point that she could very well be the queen of the entire game. The same with Tyrion. I think Tyrion just wants a good person. I think he's had his heart broken so many times now by so many people and had his hopes and aspirations dashed because of people just not being decent. And it's pretty funny to see him, not funny, but just, I think he's realizing that Varys is right. And I think that I think Sansa sees the worth of Tyrion and the worth of Varys and people advising and listening to them. and she's savvy enough to see that Danny and is not okay. So yeah, I honestly think it could be down to Sansa on the throne. I know a lot of people have had trouble with her character, but her arc has been so good. I still am pissed about Littlefinger. I think she could have kept him around, but at the same time, he was responsible for her dad dying. So that puts a damper on your relationship. But at the end of the day, I think that's what's going to happen. If not, Jon Snow has to man up. Seriously, man, you gotta man up, and you can't be so wishy-washy. And I think, I don't know where George R.R. Martin is in all of his writings, but with this show, if you follow the way the his whole thing and reasoning was for this story, is it's not your typical hero's tale. It's who wins the game is the one who plays it the best. And that doesn't necessarily mean the best fighter. It doesn't necessarily mean the best heroic type. It's the one that has the wits and smarts and the wherewithal to beat all comers, really. So this episode ends, of course, with Missandei telling her queen, fry them all, basically, before her head gets lopped off. Honestly, I'm surprised she lived as long as she did. I'm surprised Grey Worm's still around. He's not going to be around for much longer. He's just going to lose his shit and run and get killed. But yeah, Tyrion didn't get his way. We knew that wouldn't happen. He needs to realize that his sister's a crazy bitch. And like I said, Jaime left Brienne. And boy, man, Gwendoline Christie is the MVP of this season. I love her. I love what she did with that character. I love what they did with the character. I just want to hug her. I could probably fit like right here on her. That's okay. She just was fantastic as the character Brienne, and Brienne's still around. I don't know where she's going to end up. Like I said, she's probably going to end up following Jaime into hell and back. But that just broke my heart. And I wanted her to be happy, but we knew it was not to be. And there is always rebound, Giant's Bane. There's always rebound in the north. That should be on a shirt too. So guys, thank you so much for listening. We have 2 more episodes left. I don't know if we're going to get full on crazy battle next week. We'll see what actors have been saying that are on the show is that the next battle is supposedly bigger than that of the battle of Winterfell. I don't know if it's going to be bigger. It certainly will have to be brighter, as Winterfell is fairly bright and sunny. Ha! Thank you. We'll get to see things. That's wonderful. But yeah, so that's going to be our next episode. I don't know. I think it's going to, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think the big battle is going to start next week. I think we're going to have more lead up to that big battle. More things are going to happen. Jaime Lannister might die next episode. We can see. I mean, we only have 2 left, so you're going to have to start wrapping more stuff up. They wrapped up pretty good, though, now. But before I let go, just once again, Tormund Giantsbane lived. Ghost lived. To all you assholes who said he was going to die. He might die yet, but he didn't die yet. That's all I have to say about that. Tormund. Yeah. And with that, thank you for listening and watching this gab about GOT. And we will see you next week in the penultimate episode. Penultimate? I think that's right. Of Game of Thrones. And then I will start talking about 2 new series coming. One is a limited series. One is a not so limited series. It is Good Omens, which they sent me. Good Omens playing cards. Look at the beauty and porn that is Michael Sheen and David Tennant. And they actually sent me the entire series. on DVD, which is pretty awesome. Thank you, Amazon Prime. Pretty sweet of you. I've already watched some of it. I can't talk about it yet, but I will. The other show that I will be talking about that I can't talk about yet because embargo is Nosferatu, which has Zachary Quinto, no big secret here, playing a vampire, sort of. We'll go into that. But with this Gab About Gots is over. And please subscribe if you haven't yet. And I will see you next week for another episode of Gab About Gots. Bye.